Okay, so let's open the meeting at 5:03. Where do you want to go first, Ken?
This will sign.
All right.
That's something, get some of that done.
Yep. 5:30, the
Right, budget committee.
budget committee, yeah.
Yep.
All right, first item is a accounts payable manifest in the amount of $43,972.68.
So moved.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye. Wait, I can't sign in green, can I? Or can I? That'd be fun. Can I sign in green? Yeah. That's a lot more fun. Green, the color of money.
There we go. Alright. Next is a payroll manifest in the amount of $54,473.87.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
That is the MS1,
Yep, that's,
and the place for you to sign is on the front there. It used to have a place for all three names, and the new form does not. So squint your names in there anywhere you can.
okay. Would we be okay to go on?
Yep.
And no motion necessary, just signatures, right?
That's right.
Ken, while I'm thinking of it, before we leave tonight, can you log into the Simply Safe Security so I can get logged back in? Because they send the code to your
Oh,
email.
sure.
And I don't know why it's been so long since we've had to do that, but
Okay. Yeah, well, I think the power outage might have a problem.
yeah.
Do we want phone numbers and,
No.
and this just looks up information maybe from Mandy on this copy of it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the summary.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's the summary of the valuation for the, I think that's the,
That's the MS1.
this is?
There's another MS1 that,
This
there were
is,
two MS1s in there.
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. I just saw the summary of valuation. I thought it might have been the power thing, Eversource.
No,
No,
that's
that's part of the
somewhere,
budget.
yeah. All right, so is this for,
that's just for reference?
I think those are just the details in case you were,
okay,
it's a new form this year, so,
yeah, this looks like, because I see an old selectmen listed on this one,
Yeah.
2024.
that's what, it's so you can compare the difference.
Gotcha. All right, I'll pass this along too.
All right, I'll let you
That's the
start.
last change.
Carol, why does this have, what are the red spots on the,
Red spots?
there are red dots next to certain lines on the
Oh,
MS1
I
file.
believe that's Mandy's. She was checking her
Just
work
checking
to
that
make
she
sure
went
it
down,
was
okay.
all done.
Red.
Because it's uploaded.
Yep.
What we do is,
Okay.
she uploads it to the Department of Revenue.
Yeah.
And then, once it's all signed, then she can scan it, but she has to upload it first, so I think she went down and made sure that it was all right.
Kind of what it looked like, but red dots usually don't mean good things, so I was just double checking.
Hmm. All right,
This is nothing for us to sign.
That
this
was,
is just for-
so you could reference last year's, I believe.
Oh, okay.
that's 20, somewhere on there, that's 2024.
Oh, got it. Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Back to you. All right, next is an application for current use assessment. Leroy Grimes is the applicant. It's for 5.7 acres, tax map 237, lot 18 on Northwest Road. And Cal, it looks like only one place where we sign.
From here I can see two
One?
blue things.
There's
Nope,
another-
actually, nope, that's
Oh,
a
that's a
separate
different one.
form. You're right, there's just one on top of another one.
Okay.
So,
So you have to sign, and then you have to sign on top of your signature. The signing is so hard.
You see my signature?
It's so hard.
It's actually bad practice to get a stamp with your signature because then if it gets stolen, anybody can use it. And it's good for your signature to have a little bit of difference in each one, that way you can tell it's
Okay.
yours.
Yep.
Thanks.
Info you didn't want to know.
As long as I fill that one in.
Yeah.
So that's not granted yet, that's just the application.
All right, next item is a notice of intent to cut wood or timber. Orchard Road, map 23, lot 1 and 2. There is a map on page 2.
Is that just a continuation of last year's cut?
I don't know either. It
I
doesn't.
think it would have to be, because
Yeah,
it's,
because Brandenburg did it last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's probably just a little more.
they're making good use of that road.
Yeah.
Oops. Patty turns 90 this weekend.
Oh, no, please.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing.
She's got huge. She wants to say happy birthday.
Exactly. All right, next is another notice of intent to cut wood or timber, Hackleboro Road, map 229, lot 2, and I believe there was a map, yeah, that I saw in there as well.
Shannon would be able to join. This Zoom doesn't work, but she's in Gavin. I thought I fixed it.
She'd sent me an email earlier, and said that she had some questions,
Okay,
so I sent her the answers to the questions.
okay,
So
That's crazy long.
good.
she wasn't sure if it was gonna work or not.
Can you-
So it's right on the street, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Sparky, yes.
Yeah, she started cutting that today, actually.
Ah, there you go.
Not.
Close to the 20. That's what it says.
That was dry.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing but
Yeah, thanks, Ken. All right, final item for signature, interfund transfer from bridge maintenance and construction capital reserve into the operating fund, transfer to cover culvert expenses.
Yeah, we got some money from the state last year that said we could only use it for bridges or culverts, and John bought some culverts, so we moved the money out of that capital reserve account into that operating account to pay for those culverts.
Gotcha. So the amount is $3,225.60. You want to go on to the minutes from here, Ken?
I have one more thing for you guys to sign. Yes, this is the letter to Sam, to the Citizens Bank for the distribution of the trust money from Sam Lake Trust. And it's the amount of $11,233.87. So you need to sign that and send it off to Citizens, and then they will send us a check.
Yep, and that's going for the,
That goes into the cap reserve account, and which will be used for the construction of the garage.
yeah.
I hand it to us, you can wave it. You can just,
All right. 5:15, we still got what, 15 minutes to the
Yep.
budget committee, so.
Yep, we can do the minutes.
All right, why don't we start with the public meeting minutes from August the 18th, 2025.
I got one substantial change, and that's on page 5. Should be highlighted in yellow.
Yep.
It says, Beth explained that she spoke with another family who knew about this topic and learned, etc. But it should say, Beth explained that she spoke with Denise Julio, a demonstrator at the Canterbury Fair and one of the founders of the Indigenous New Hampshire Collaborative Collective. New sentence she learned. So,
figured it should be important to identify she was, since she was one of the people who, she and her husband, are the writers of these, the proponents for these land acknowledgements.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything?
That was it for me.
Okay. I'll make a motion then that we approve the minutes as amended.
Seconded.
All those in favor? Aye?
Aye. Excellent minutes as always.
All right, turning our attention to the non-public minutes.
Yes, I have
There should,
a
right,
page to read.
yeah,
Cal, I did just see, on line 22 that there's one typo. Explained that he is hesitant.
got it.
That's all I've seen so far.
yeah.
Invest in each other.
Yeah. No, that's all I see in this. For me, anyway.
Yep. Good, okay. So I'll make a motion that we're not gonna count the typos.
That's
Yeah, that we approve the non-public minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And we'll pass it on.
You just have a shredder right here with the.
Right.
That'd be kind of loud.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
New business traffic report.
Yep, sounds good.
So I sent an email with the data for the speed. Not sure how you want me to follow up on this. I mean, I can call Mr. Shepherd and contact him and let him know, but it seemed pretty obvious to me that the majority of people are obeying the speed limit.
They are. The facts speak for themselves.
I mean, we can see about putting signs on town roads, but nothing on Baptist or Center or Kinder Pond.
Yeah.
So it'd be Hackmore Road and Old Tilton Road would be the only places that we could do anything.
Right.
And with that, I was gonna say that, do they need to be like town signs or like a resident put up a watch your speed, you know, how people have private signs on the
I
end
think
there?
it would, if we did anything, it would be the highway department would put up a sign that said, you know, slow pedestrians or something like that, caution, whatever,
Yeah,
something along those lines.
Yeah.
But again, it would only be on Hackmore and
Right.
Tilton, which, if you read the data, those weren't any of the roads that were issued. It was Baptist and
Right.
Central. Kinder Pond wasn't.
Yeah. Not sure I see a need for more signage.
yeah, it was, I kind of find the map a little hard to read because the yellow, if this is, that's,
Yeah, I think
makes it look like people are traveling at 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, well,
which
I
is
think
not
that
correct.
if you went to the graph, it was
Hmm.
the data, that actual data sheet.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, because I was like, I'm not sure this is correct, but people are not going 7 miles an hour. But, yeah.
Kind of tough to see.
Yeah, I'm not sure the signage,
Yes.
additional signage?
Yeah, I'm thinking I drive Payable every day. There's what, 2 speed limit signs on it? There's one at the beginning, one in the middle. I think there need more signs, like.
Yeah.
The thing I would like to know is if they have caught on the speed, on the radar at all, who's ever going through up Hackleboro Road at like, it's just at dark. It's like 8:30 at night, somebody every night comes whizzing up the road with the mufflers going and obviously traveling at speed. That I worry about.
I'll get my lawn chair and look for them.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I don't see, I don't know if any more signs will help that problem.
Well, I'll contact Mr. Shepherd and
That sounds good.
let him know what we did.
Yeah.
I would hope everybody walking on those roads is wearing yellow vests anyway.
Yeah, most.
Blades, yeah. Because it is hard to see people even if you're going slow.
Yeah.
There's just those curves. There's 3 curves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The next one was the Aries engineering report. We'll wait till the budget committee's here for that.
Yep.
And then I have sign placement.
Yeah.
Put it with an arrow.
Time to do that? I don't know what that is.
It's in your folder, somebody sent a sign placement request, the red folder, not.
Oh.
Yeah, it's in the new business one.
Yep.
Ah, that's what the one I was asking about this morning, and there it is. Huh.
You just got it today, so if you need more time, I can put it on the next agenda.
Well, I think this might end up being part of a, not this in particular, but we need to have a bigger conversation about signs in the center anyway. I talked with Ken a little bit about it this morning, all of a sudden, if you get people sticking all kinds of signs in there for their businesses, if that's what, this doesn't say, or does it say that how long it'll be up, like September for October, the whole
60 days.
of it? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I can send you guys the sign policy that's in existence now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was done in 2009, and it talks about hand letter, things
Yeah.
like that. And, the specifics in there that I think probably be helpful for you guys on this.
That sounds good.
I think I have less of a problem with a sign like this, because the Hackleboro sign, did get approved and it's there. And as you say, it's hand painted and it's a local business. I think I have less of a problem with a sign like this than the other ones, the pre-printed stick in the ground signs that show up and then stay for months. So we may have to revisit that. What do we need to? I looked at the ordinance this morning.
Yeah, I think, why don't we table this till the next meeting? Ken will send us the sign policy, we can all look at that, and then discuss it at the next meeting.
Does Tracy want this to go up now so she can still get business for it's only till October? So she'll miss another 2 weeks of advertising the business.
I told her like a week and a half ago how to submit, and we didn't get it till a roundabout way this morning, so.
Oh, okay. All right, so if you want to look at that, you're okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And at some point, we need to, once we all look at that, we should discuss, maybe the next time when we talk about signs, what we want to do or not do about weighing in on the other kinds of signs in the center.
All right.
Five minutes.
Is it Footbridge to Boscawen that'll take us?
It'll take a couple minutes. I think I sent you guys an email
You did.
from Luke.
Yeah.
At this point, I think it's I can reply to him saying, you can let him follow up with grants and things like that, or what? I don't know what you want to do. I'm not sure what you want to do with this. Whatever it is, it would be a ton of money,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
Ken,
I wouldn't
when
even
did you
know.
send that, please? I didn't.
What's that?
When did you send it, please?
Oh, I don't know.
I'll go back and look.
Last week.
Friday, Thursday, or Friday.
I saw it, but then I didn't. Oh, there we go.
I mean, he met with the Boscawen Economic Development Committee. They don't think it's a bad idea, but they don't have any money.
We don't have any money.
They said, maybe 2 towns applying for grant might be a better chance, but I'm not sure that, at this point, we, the staff at the town office, are heading into budget season.
Right.
And I don't know that we have the wherewithal to try and find grants for a footbridge across the river.
Right. And the other question becomes, as Luke sort of alluded to, who does the maintenance?
Right.
That's forever. So.
Well, and he talked with Boscawen, but are they keen on actually, because still it's halfway, they would have to be half of the footbridge, wouldn't they? So they would have to maintain and everything, and they're just getting started on their own giant building project. And I would assume that somehow it would still have to link in with that, and
Okay.
they've already started. Yeah. So that would have money, timing, maintenance, and and
Lots of
Boscawen's
questions.
ability to have it hook in with their project.
We almost have to have a joint committee
Yeah.
between 2 towns. I don't know if Luke wants to spearhead.
Well, and it should have been part of this whole project if it was going to happen, one would think.
Yeah.
But,
Okay. I'll reply to him that at this point, it's not a project that the town, that we're willing to take on. So,
I mean, I would think if he finds grant money and then he has a conversation with Boscawen and they say, yeah, great idea, let's do it. And then Boscawen talks with Canterbury.
okay.
All right, anything else we can cover in 3 minutes or less?
Well, the land acknowledgement, I don't know what else there is to say, except the reference to the Pulios was the reference, that they were the people who brought up land acknowledgement. They're the experts on it, as you will, if you will.
Mhm.
So I don't know if we want to have them weigh in more on what a land acknowledgement might mean. I think Kevin has made it pretty clear. It's at the moment pretty much more ceremonial. We want to wait and hear from the, I don't really know what to do with it, other than to say, it seems like a good idea, and it does not sound like from the Pulios that that we are signing on to doing something specific unless we want. It sounds like, what we're doing is an acknowledgement that they can no longer carry the land, so we are. And we can do much after that. If you want Evan to come back with a plan about what other things he thinks we should do other than plaques, realize it.
I think that's the hang up right now, is what is the extent they want to have this land acknowledgement. I don't think there's a debate on the content of it. I think
Right.
It's just, what are we doing with this? Are we gonna put a plaque in town offices? Are we gonna try to put something like, I think that's where we need to go, and Evan needs to explain to us
Where all these plaques will
what his
go.
end result wants
Yeah.
to be, and what are the goals of it? If we're gonna get this rolling, we kind of need some meat on the bones.
I did forward it to the Conservation Commission. They had a meeting and they were like, they didn't seem to think that they had anything to do with it unless, again, Evan wants to put signs on conservation property. So they, at the moment, they're like,
That's essentially the same
Yeah.
as the HDCNH, the same response. There's nothing really to debate about it.
Yeah.
Being presented, so once there's something, I guess.
Yeah.
tangible, then we can back out.
Yeah.
So why don't we invite him back in?
yeah, or even just to be, I know he's in school,
Right,
that
that's
might
what
be
I'm
tough.
saying.
So if he just wants to wait and see how he sees, a little bit more information about where exactly he might see plaques going.
Right.
And if there's any other, and that way he can just send it to us without having to show up at the moment, because that's difficult for him.
Yes, it is.
I think we all think it's a good idea, we just want to make sure what the extent of it is.
Yeah. All right.
Did everybody go to Julio's van at the fair? It was great. They were over by the library.
Okay.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
well,
I've been to the fair.
oh, it's wonderful, they had beautiful animal skins that you could
Oh, I do remember.
feel
Yes,
the whole
I just remember
inside,
names.
the whole inside of the van
Yeah.
is a museum,
Yep.
beautiful.
Yep, it was over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember. All right. Budget committee. Good evening.
Good evening. Can I just tell you that I'm sitting here with the most intense amusement about the discussion of putting back up the bridge that it took us half a century to tear down.
Just put
Just
it.
a footprint.
And that the last joint committee with Boscawen on that bridge lasted longer than some people in this room are alive.
Just a footbridge, not a major superstructure,
I
thankfully.
think I explained to Scott about you and I attending the meeting at
You did.
Fish and Game headquarters about the mussels that may have been under the bridge, that they were gonna relocate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't a muscle in 300 yards of that bridge.
All right.
When I was a selectman, it took years for Boscawen to agree or even think about helping keep the bridge that was there And it was years of discussion even then. So I'm not very optimistic that Footbridge will be possible.
There might be different people in Boscawen. Who knows? Who knows?
Never know. Never know.
All right. So I think, did everybody get the highlights that were sent out?
Yep.
I'll just go down through like we normally do, and then.
I assume you need a new copy machine somewhere.
Delivered to highlight
I can pull mine up on email if you want this one. I don't want to read it. This one's all.
Yeah, it ran out halfway through the budget versus actuals, and then I took out and shook it, and it got through small budget highlights.
We do have a line for office supplies in our budget.
That's a good thing.
Okay, so this is really kind of the year in view so far to date. And if you had a chance to look at the profit and loss, the actuals, some of the things that came up, where there's some expenses that were there that you might have seen that might have said, well, why did we spend this money or whatever. So under buildings, municipal building, expenses include the solar panel repairs. We had one of the boxes in the ground, one of the junction boxes, actually caught fire. And so we had to redo a bunch of the junction up there. The septic pumps, there's 2 septic pumps up there in the pump tanks, and they both had to be replaced. That was fairly expensive. The water softener maintenance, one of the air conditioning units in the fire station, in the firefighter's office there, started leaking down through the ceiling. The condensate pump stopped working, and there was no water sensor in there, so it leaked all over one of the desks in there. And so we ended up having a contractor come in and put a pan under the whole thing and put in a new water sensor, so it would shut the unit off if it senses if the condensate pump quits. And the septic pumps were paid for from the building maintenance emergency capital reserve account. So you'll see in the expense line, we had to expend the money there, so it's only expended, but we did transfer some money to pay for that. Sam Lake House, again, solar panel repairs. The junction box that's near the building, the solar panels didn't work quite a bit of the winter. We finally figured out after the snow melted that there's a junction box just outside the back of the building, and it was full of water. And so we had to get that fixed. Town hall, furnace blower motor went, but luckily there's another furnace down there next to it, and they took the blower motor from that one and put it in the one that actually works. So it only cost us the technician's time to be there. Town center, we had Bartlett Tree come and look at the Cushman Elm this spring. They recommended that we spend quite a bit of money and put in some kind of underground watering system and mulch and everything, and the selectmen said that they didn't think that was a good expenditure of funds. So the fire department's been going down during this dry period of time and watering for us. Kevin Bragg's going to be planting some replacement trees in the center, and then he is going to put a small one near the big spruce in the center. He figures out it has about 10 years left on it, but we thought it would be a good time to put a small one in there and let it grow a little bit before the big one has to come down. Moving down to departments, as you see, the new fire engine estimated delivery date is June of 26. We'll be taking the bond out in January. We've been meeting with Boscawen, Salisbury, Merrimack County, and Pennacliff Rescue on costs and operations. That has been an ongoing meetings with all the entities for the last almost year, I guess. In fact, we're going to meet in 2 weeks to meet again, to talk about costs. The police department still has a vacant patrol officer. Yep.
Sorry. What is the nature of the discussions that you're having with these towns? Is it mutual aid or is it
So it's
ambulance services?
yeah. So this kind of came about because of the costs of running Pennacook Rescue, and that there was a substantial percentage of the calls they were responding to Merrimack County, the nursing home, and the Department of Corrections up there. And so Boscawen, Canterbury, and Salisbury each contribute some money towards Pennacook Rescue based on population. So we got together, tried to figure out a way to I guess, even out the costs a little bit. And that's when we decided, that's when we kind of figured out that Merrimack County was taking up a lot of the calls. So we contacted them, they met with us, we met with the commissioners, and they actually contributed $150,000, no,
No, it's more than that.
they contributed in 2024, they had some ARPA money left over, so they contributed over $100,000 to Pennacook Rescue for the operations. They won't be in that position in 25, but they are trying to budget for that to make a contribution to Pennacook Rescue, which helps out with Boscawen, but it doesn't really help out with Canterbury and Salisbury. But we're looking into grants and other ways of, because Pennacook Rescue is a nonprofit, but they are not a municipal entity, so they're limited on what grants they can apply for. So we're trying to put our heads together to try and figure out a way to get grant money or something to subsidize them.
Thank you.
Yep. Like I said, police department, we had a vacant patrol officer position since February. Really haven't had any prospects. The chief is working on a wage and step system that will hopefully attract someone. We're gonna do another wage study this fall for 2026 to see what the towns around us are paying. And my guess is that we'll find that we're falling behind a little bit. Highway department, again, we hired a couple of people, both needed commercial driver's licenses. You'll see in the expense sheet that training, we went over budget, but we had to, part of the deal with hiring these people was to train them for CDLs, and they did sign a contract with us for staying for 15 months of employment. We've been hiring seasonal help and plowing. We haven't had any luck for another full-time employee. John notified me the other day that one of the seasonal guys that we've been hiring for the last 4 years, 6 years, is not gonna plow for us this year. So we're gonna be looking for somebody else. We spent ARPA money on trucking and material for dirt roads, $257,000. And we got a lot of positive feedback from a lot of the residents. Some were quite surprising. So thank you very much, John, and the rest of your crew.
Absolutely.
You'll see there's some expenses to T3 and T7. We've had some, again, breakdowns, and we had some more last week. So unfortunately, we're eating up into our repair lines. Transfer station, I have full staff for now, but that changed yesterday, or I guess Friday. One of our part-timers has left, so we're gonna be looking for somebody. The Aries report is done, we'll get into that in a little bit. Recycling services budget is over because we reduced the budget from 20,000 to 5,000 because we weren't gonna be getting charged for the hauling the paper and the cardboard. I think we were a little a little more positive on our numbers than we should have been. So we're a little over on that. And we've experienced a lot of construction and demolition debris. So again, if the expenses are over, but if you look in the front part under revenues, you'll see that we have quite a bit higher revenues from the transfer station than we normally do. The phones are over because we moved from Consolidated to Comcast, and there was a fee for the move, but the annual cost would be less. We're getting $8,000, a little over $8,000 back from the Concord Regional Solid Waste because they sold a parcel of property behind the trash energy plant. It was purchased for the single stream recycling facility that they were proposing several years ago and never came to fruition. It's been under contract to sell for several years with a company, and they finally decided to go ahead and buy it. So they purchased it for $1.5 million. Canterbury's portion of that is $8,472.98. The cost of per tonnage going to wind waste is going up again, $5 this year. So it'll be $100 a ton. And the state has passed a law to add $3.50 per ton as a surcharge. Any in-state municipalities will receive that back quarterly. We have to invoice DES. I think this is the state's attempt to limit out-of-state trash coming into New Hampshire. So, but we're gonna have to pay it up front and then submit an invoice quarterly, and then they'll pay us back that whatever we get charged. Let's see. We hired the land use administrator in July. She's working out good, Michelle Hammond. She was the secretary for the planning board, and then came to work for us at the town office as the land use administrator. We contracted for assessing of utilities this year because all the other work that Eversource did. You can see from the numbers, the assessment from Eversource went from $6.5 million to over $35 million. The total utilities in Canterbury went from 378, almost 379 million to 411 million. So that's quite a jump. I think I sent you the report that Mandy put together on taxes. I got a note from Bob saying, don't count your eggs before they're hatched. Because our guess is that Eversource will probably file for some kind of abatement, so we'll see. But the good news is the assessment went up quite a bit. So
Can I ask, when you say the total utilities went from 378 to 411, you mean the assessment?
the assessment, yes, yeah.
The last time there was a large utility change in the way that I think the value of the poles was treated.
Yes.
It jumped an assessed value, and they all immediately filed both abatement requests.
Yeah.
Those were denied, and then they went straight to the
PUC.
they went straight to the LTA. So that is something to think about. Because it's going to hit the, you're going to include it in the town's valuation for computing the tax rate.
Right.
Then you may have to give it back.
Yes.
So when you're doing that, you have to be mindful of whether or not you need to put on some overlay and calculate the exact value of it. Because if you have to give it back, you'll be giving it back in the next year.
Mm-hmm.
So you either have to take that as unreserved fund balance, or you have to put an overlay onto the this year's tax bill to raise some of it by taxation.
What happened
In
when
case you have
the
to give it
utilities
back.
went to the next level? Did they get satisfaction?
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want that one.
So the abatement was denied, but then at the next level they were.
Yeah, we never, at the time, we didn't take advantage of that differential, but it wasn't that much money, but yeah, they won. And they may not this time because they're building a new transmission line, so it clearly has value, but they're gonna argue about it versus what they put in.
And I did talk to Mandy today, and she was gonna contact Mr. Fogg, who's the assessor, and ask him if he would work with us if there is an abatement request. So he said yes, so.
Yeah, it's all good, it's all very good news, and it was a smart move hiring the outside evaluator for sure.
Yeah. And that's what he does, that's his business, is utility value valuation, so.
And the net was about $2 on the tax.
Yes, yeah.
So that's useful.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Good work.
Let's see, under IT, we purchased some new computers for some different people. Under healthcare, we switched to New Hampshire Interlocal Trust for this year. After many years with the health trust, and it was really, the cost was substantially lower. In May, we were notified that the Interlocal Trust was going out of business. So we did some pretty fancy footwork and ended up with school care. And mostly because they had the same health carrier as the Interlocal Trust. So it was less of it was more expensive, but it was less of a problem with all of our employees trying to change to a different healthcare company. So we are gonna start looking. In fact, I've already been in contact with the Health Trust and a couple others about 26. The Health Trust has a 2-year lockout if you leave them, but they were considering waiving it because the NHIT went out of business. So we'll see. They haven't firmed that up yet, but we'll see what happens. So we will be shopping. And our looking for remedies to this, we looked at everything from providing the employees with an amount of money and saying, go out and get your own insurance. We started there, and then we ended up, going with school care. So we searched, we looked at a whole bunch of different options. So, but there was a pretty severe deadline, so we couldn't spend a lot of time on it. We only had a month or so. So we'll be looking again this year.
Is anyone still looking at the high deductible plans and then funding an HSA for the employees to cover deductibles and other
And we did that with an NHIT. We funded a high deductible, and there was, a couple people that took it? Three people that took it. We gave them the option. We thought, well, this year we'll give you an option, and there was 3 people that took it. So, I think that will be an option this year, sure.
Is school care in conjunction with the Shaker Regional, or is that just another company?
No, they're just a pool, just like Health Trust and NHIT was. It's a pool that provides insurance to municipalities and school districts.
So we could tag into that.
Yeah, we can go back.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go back to them in 26 if we want to. But we're going to shop around.
If they're still in business.
Moving on down to taxes, you can see that what we collected year to date, over $4.5 million, and that includes back taxes from previous years, interest and penalties, and we only have $116,000 that's owed in back taxes. So we're actually doing pretty good.
That's really good.
Yep.
What I wanted to know is, should we be concerned that we have about the amount of money we've collected now and the taxes that are not collected yet? I mean, it seems like we've got $4 million but the budget is 7.5. Is there any concern there that we're lagging or
No,
just normal?
no, I think we're actually looking really good.
Okay.
Revenue, we've got $11,233 from the Sam Lake Trust disbursement, and that's gonna be deposited in the cap reserve account. That'll give us a balance of $85,730. We do have other revenues. There's a separate sheet here, revenue offsets that Mary put together today. Grants received, revenue offsets, sale of town property, ARPA usage, and highway grant usage. Bob, I don't know, did Bob get one of these?
No one got one of
Oh, no
those
one got-
because
oh,
the
sorry.
printer ran out.
Oh,
So we
well,
we don't
I'll
have-
hand this around. Why don't you hand that over? That's, you guys can look at that. That details some of the grants and the revenues that we received.
I'll email it.
Thank you. You want to email it right now? And we'll- Is it there?
Is that the total highway block grant money for the year? That
Yeah,
seems-
so far.
That seems low.
No, that's a portion of it.
Okay.
Yeah, we will be getting more in November or December.
Okay, along with rooms and meals.
Yes, yes. Although I think the legislature changed the rooms and meals law this year. They changed it from percentages to a total amount to be distributed on a percentage-wide basis based on population. So it's not gonna be based on what they took in. It's gonna be, here's a number, here's a piece of the pie, and that's all you're getting. It was very controversial.
Yeah.
As you
Probably
could-
better than no pie, but still.
I think you can count on it not being in the town's favor.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so, one thing, on the next paragraph, the enterprise fund, we've collected 65,000 in comparison. The solid waste expenditures are 98,000. So we're just subsidizing 33% of the cost with tax dollars, which is, lower than what we normally do. It's usually, we're in the 40 to 45% of subsidizing from the tax dollars. So, as I said before, there was an increase in the recycling costs, but we're gaining it back in the fees that we're collecting up there.
Yeah, although it's probably time to evaluate a bag price increase. Those bags haven't changed in forever, and costs certainly have.
And there's going to be a change in the bags. The plastic sleeve that they come in now is going to be paper now. The company that we get them from has said, no, we're gonna give you paper sleeves now. So we'll see how those work out.
We can recycle them, so that's good.
Yes. I don't
The
know.
bags that you use are still the same, but
The bags will still be plastic,
they come in a different wrapper.
but they're gonna come in a different, it's gonna be a paper bag instead of a plastic bag they come in now. Let's see, warrant articles. The voting machine was purchased. The work's underway at the Sam Lake Garage. They're putting the shakes on today. The library weatherization was completed. The final cost was almost $20,000, and we received $7,000 from New Hampshire Saves. We have on our agenda later to authorize the transfer from the Community Power Committee from our adder to the town. Household Hazardous Waste Day was held on May 24th, and there's a mistake on your highlights. The warrant article was for $10,500, and we spent $10,491. The report from engineering is done, Aries engineering done, and we'll get the handout for that. I'll get into that when we get through the rest of this, and then we'll go to the Aries report because it's a little more detailed. Broadband extension, the majority of the town now has accessibility. There's still a few addresses out there. All the rest of the budget lines are where we expect them to be, except for the legal budget. Direct assistance, we're gonna overexpend that line again this year. The planning board is working on the update to the capital improvement plan. We have a proposal from TD Bank on investing some of our funds to maximize our earned interest. And again, I'll get into that a little bit in a couple minutes. And then looking towards 2026, as I say, the big issue is going to be wages and benefits. The library has already told us they're not planning any increases other than wages. But they're also, the trustees are also proposing to fund a larger portion of the wages. And then the police chief is talking about a wage increase in the Sept system. Some potential big ticket items for 2026. The highway department is hoping to replace the water truck with a slide-in tank. The old water truck is out of service and not repairable. The highway department pickup truck has a whole bunch of problems, and we decided not to put any money into it because it looks like it's not going to be worth putting any money into. Again, we'll do a wage and benefit study and have more information on that at our next meeting. So I'll start with the TD Bank information. I think I sent that out to everybody. And basically it is, we talked about investing some of the money from our general fund. Asked them for a proposal, and they gave us this, what they're calling as a laddered CD account. They gave us some options. I talked with Al. The treasurer is the one that has to sign off on all this because he's the one that's responsible for the money. So we looked at this a few years ago and never really went anywhere with it. But we checked into it again and they gave us some proposals. I had some questions for them after the proposals, and I guess I'll read you the questions that I asked and the answers. And I said, if we invest suggested 1.5 million, will we be penalized on our current account? Because our current account, we have to keep a certain amount of money in there, and if we don't, we get penalized, the fees go up. And they said that based off the last 12 months, we would not get penalized if we withdrew the 1.5 million. I said, could you provide estimated revenue on the scenarios versus revenue if we kept the funds in our current account? The trend sheet shows we average 2.8% and the current rates with CDs are in the 3.8 range. Is 1% difference worth a change? The answer is yes. 1% is the rule of thumb. 1.5 million in the current account, the town yields $3,376. In interest in a month, a CD would yield $4,930. So we pick up 4. Are there transaction fees? No, there's no fees. The town balances are high enough that there's no fees. And then I had a couple of questions on some of the trend lines, but they are more technical questions, but not a problem. So as you can see, we can make, as it stands right now, we could make, a
whole police car.
Yeah, pretty much.
One way to look at it.
Pretty much. Yep. In fact,
Well, pretty much what, I'm sorry, I missed it. We could make,
Bob said a whole police car.
oh,
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, if it's $4,930 a month on trend, right, that's plenty of money. It makes no sense. If you're looking for budget committee input, I would say proceed, because.
And that's Al came tonight and said, let's see how you guys feel about it, and go from there. I think it's, one of those things where It's a change of how we do things, but it does make us more money.
The only thing you need to do with the bank representative is a cash model. And you need to tie the cash on hand, the encumbered cash on hand to the county payment and the school district payments.
Right.
And they were well aware of that, the timing.
Yeah, and that's what we sent them.
That she.
They have all the information on we sent them our school schedule, our county schedule, so they have that. So they know what we have to pay out at certain times of the year. So I think it's
Business decision.
yeah, it is really a business decision. Yeah.
It seems like a good business decision, especially if they'll manage it.
Yeah. Any questions, Al, or anything to say?
I guess my first question is there a risk factor in this?
No, these are fully collateralized investments. So the worst that could happen is we could earn nothing on our money. We will get our money back, whatever the investment is. Yeah.
Are there penalties if we need to get our money back?
Yeah.
So they gave us different options of 1 month. You could do 1.5 million for a month for 30 days. You could do 750 for 1 month and 750 for 2 months. So there's always the opportunity to say, well, and you know, I talked to the person at the bank, and I talked to Mary, our accounting clerk, about it. And I said, okay, so worst case scenario, something happens in town where we need $750,000. I'm not sure, we still have plenty of money in our unreserved fund balance to pay for something. I mean, if one of our buildings burned down or a tornado came through or something like that, we have insurance on all of our buildings. I don't know, I've been trying to think of worst case scenarios where we need that money and we couldn't get it, and I can't come up with anything.
Well,
So-
this isn't the total bulk of the money that we
No,
have.
and that's the
They
thing.
made a
We're
very
looking at,
careful calculation about what was safe for us.
yeah,
to-
we have over $4 million in our unreserved fund balance right now. So, we've had highs and lows. The trend sheet, I think, showed let's see. In August of '24, we had 4.6 million, and we went down to a low of 2.5 million in December. So, and then it creeps back up, obviously, when the taxes start coming in. So there is a valley and a peak, but at the same time, the lowest we've ever gone is 2.5 million, so in the last year. So if we took 750,000 of that and invested it, we still have $1.5 million. So, again, I talked to Mary about this, and she is a very conservative accounting clerk and is very protective of those funds. And she's like, well, yeah, I guess, and then we talked about it, looked at the numbers, and we it does make sense to invest some of our money to get a little bit more interest.
Are you recommending scenario 4?
So
Yes.
we went and looked at all the scenarios, and we weren't sure what to do. I mean, I think whatever we're gonna do, I think we're gonna have to wait until 2026, because we have we could potentially invest some now, 750, but we have a $700 and something thousand payment coming up to the county in November. So we were looking at the flow chart of what our balances were, and Mary said, well, maybe we should just start off with 750 now, see what the interest rates do, and then when 2026, when the tax dollars start coming in from the December tax bills, maybe we can look at investing some more. So, but again, that's something Al and myself, and I think the selectmen probably want to look at and really come up with a plan on what to do.
Well, it was also nice the way they did, and I think TD Bank themselves was weighing in that scenario 4 was the most prudent.
Yes.
And, you know, the first CD is just for 2 months, so
Right,
even if we had a catastrophic failure of something and we've got enough in our regular unreserved fund, it wouldn't be that long before something would come due, we wouldn't have any penalties to get at that money. And that was another 500,000, according to their, you know, just the scenario.
Even if you had a catastrophic event, and that required the town to buy a new highway garage or something temporary quickly, you can't just go do that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
it's gonna take,
It's gonna take 2
You
months.
have to petition the Superior Court, you
Yes.
essentially have to call a special town meeting, so
Right.
you're not, it's not happening
right.
in
That's-
an instant anyway. The key is
So
just
I
to
was
make
trying to,
sure.
I was running through all these scenarios, I'm like, okay, what could happen? Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing could
And there's
happen
still
within
cash on hand.
30 or 60 days that we couldn't get our money back.
The only thing that could happen is if you get out of sync.
Yeah.
And you're looking at a $600,000 or $800,000 payment to the county.
Right.
And you're tight on cash.
Yeah.
So you have to mindfully make sure that, you know, it's in sync.
Right.
Because you can, you know, the one, you can't skip the county.
Yeah.
And I think with these short-term CDs, it gives us the opportunity to look at it and follow the market. And if there's a downturn in the economy that is, we're anticipating not collecting taxes on, then we say, okay, let's call the CD and get our money back in there.
And if the interest rate scenario has changed, because it has changed, a number of years ago, we looked at trying to do this, and now doing it, and it wasn't worth the aggravation. I mean, they were only paying half the point.
Right.
It wasn't worth doing, but now it seems clearly the need to be worth doing.
Ken, I think what would please me is to have a vote, so that it would be really wonderful if a vote comes out that's unanimous, so that people can see that we're all behind doing this, as opposed to just a few. If people have an objection, I would love to hear what it is. I mean, if there's something that people don't like,
I can't see any, you know, the only thing is if interest rates go down, they're gonna go down for both. Whatever we have sitting in our unreserved fund and whatever the CDs are offering, but we're still going to be, I mean, how much are we really relying on what we're making in interest, like the 3,376 a month? If we're relying on that, then we're still going to need the,
No, we're not relying on that.
okay.
Yeah, you guys can do a vote amongst the select board, you can have a formal motion and a vote, you can poll the budget committee, because we don't have the authority to
Right.
move things and vote, but I'd be happy to be polled.
Before you poll, can I just clerical thing? I don't think this affects any of the information they presented, but some of their maturity dates don't correspond to the term length that they've identified in the charts. Like in scenario 2, they say the first one is and the second one is nope, not that one, sorry. I know I saw it. In the third scenario, they give a maturity date of October, but they say it's a 2-month, and then
Oh, right.
and in the third CD, in the third scenario, they say it's a 6-month, but they give a November date. So the dates don't always correspond with the number of months.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Just in
Thank you.
case that changes any interest rates, like did they put the right interest rate in? Did they put the interest rate in that corresponded with the number of months or the actual maturity date?
Right.
Yeah, and the rates are APR, so the rates are the rates are variable, right? Or, in other words, they change at each
No, the
funding
CD,
date?
CD rates are fixed rates
Okay.
for the term of
For the term, so they'll
Yeah.
fluctuate
Yeah.
when you roll.
Right, either roll it over or, right.
Well, if it's a 6-month, then when you roll it, it's 6 months.
Oh, okay, looks like
So-
normal 2 days.
so can we have the select board vote?
I suggest you all the budget committee members now. Is anybody opposed to it? Is everybody in favor?
Sounds like a good poll to me.
I'm in favor.
In favor?
I'm in favor.
I'm in favor.
All right, that's unanimous. And then do you want a motion from the board? Yep, or to move forward with option 4 specifically, or just in general?
I would say in general, the investment, and then we'll work out the details with Alan.
Sounds good. So I'll make a motion that we move forward with the investment plan with TD.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I got it.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you, Ed.
All right. So now the Aries report. I have 6 copies here. I'll hand 2 out to you guys, and if you want to hand those over there. These have,
I've also got
Alright. Can I give
downloaded.
pass around?
sure.
Yeah, I've got it on screen.
Alright. I'm here.
Is this the same as what was emailed?
Yes.
Al, I don't have one. Could you email me one at some point? Not now, but at some point.
Ken emailed you one earlier today, this afternoon.
I got one today?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, let me check. Sorry.
That's all right.
Feel free to look at it,
And then pass
but,
it down.
yeah.
So, this, I think, this went to everybody, right? It went to the Board of Selectmen. But then we have the hard copy here for you guys.
I don't think I saw it on an email.
Yeah, I don't think I got emailed to the budget committee.
Yeah, you just sent it to the 2 who are gonna be
Right,
on
yes, that's it. So, there was a warrant article this year at town meeting to have a study with, of the transfer station to see the, feasibility of either making improvements up there or going somewhere else or, so we hired Aries Engineering. The first, 5, 6 pages are the summary. And I'll kind of hit the highlights for you. To start off with, one of the concerns was actually being able to do anything at all up there. And if you go to page 2, under compliance with state landfill regulations, on the second paragraph, there was a follow-up discussion with solid waste and stated the facility construction, including new construction, upgrades, and renovations at the existing transfer station, would be allowed without restrictions in locations outside areas of known or observed buried waste. So if we did any construction up there, we could do construction up there as long as it did not land on any of where the buried waste is. And if you go down to the bottom of the third paragraph, one of the questions has been about some kind of well or something like that up there, so we have water for the employees. And they said, yes, we would be able to allow to install a new water supply well on the landfill property within the GMZ. So we could put a new well in and a septic up there, according to Aries. It just could not be anywhere within where the waste is buried. Going to page 3, these are the options. So there's current operations, stay the same. One is to replace the packer truck. One is to install a new standalone single-phase compactor, which it would be not part of the new building, but maybe down by where the sand pile is now or something, which would increase the efficiency for the customers so they could drop off their trash at the compactor and then drive up to the existing building to do recycling. Another option would be the new rear feed single-phase compactor attached to the transfer building, which again is, then you lose that efficiency of, you still have everybody coming through the building to drop off their waste and their recycling. Both of these, you'll see that they're single-phase compactors. So one of the questions has been, do we need 3-phase power up there? And the latest estimate from From Unitil was $217,000 to move it from the center to the transfer station. Aries talked to the manufacturers of the compactors and explained, and they went up there, they looked at what we have for electrical entrance, talked to our electrician, and we can use a single phase compactor up there, so we would not have to put 3 phases in. So that would not be a concern at this point. The next option would be subcontract solid waste disposal and recycling at the transfer station. You can see that both Casella and Wood Waste do not want to do that.
Same answer we've gotten every time we've asked.
At least they're consistent.
And then there's purchase property and construct a new transfer station. And then an option is subcontract solid waste disposal and recycling at the new transfer station property. And again, they don't want to do that. And then there's curbside pickup of solid waste and recycling. And then there's curbside pickup of solid waste. The town runs the recycling at the transfer station. The curbside pickup was they based their tonnage. There's approximately 1,000 households in Canterbury. They based their estimates at 1 ton of solid waste per year. That is apparently the estimate that they use when they're looking at these bids. We don't have that, but we through our transfer station, and we have several customers several residents that use subcontractors, either Casella or Shaver or somebody else to get their waste. So that 1 ton per household, 1,000 households, that isn't reflected in the numbers in our current transfer station. So.
Did you ever hear back from them about like how many accounts they have?
I didn't go that far because if you look at the math, you can figure that out on your own.
Okay.
It shows how many tons approximately that we use, and so you say, okay, well, there's
And the rest of it is?
The rest of it is a private contract.
Okay.
Yeah, if you use 1,000 tons per household per year, or a ton per year, then you can come up with that number. So the approximate. So, you can see that if you go down to the assumptions, this is how he came up with a lot of his numbers. And then if you go to the present worth analysis, this is their opinion on what the best option would be. And if you go down to under present worth analysis on page 5, to the second paragraph, based on the present worth cost estimates presented in table 1, cost option 2, install new standalone single-phase compactor is the lowest cost option, with a total present worth cost estimate of $2,240,000. Install the new rear feed single-phase compactor would be the next one. They did, at the bottom, the last sentence on that page, the preliminary costs provided as part of the study included a 30% contingency factor. So if you go to page 6, one of the questions that came up during a site visit was storage of recyclables, and the thought was the potential for relocating the salt shed and use that existing building down there for storage, and then move the salt shed up to the municipal complex. And the engineer didn't feel that was feasible. You look at further down on page 6, limitations observed during the site walk included the presence of existing solar power array, the close proximity of the northern boundary to the existing parking and storage area, and then restrictions for placing a salt shed along the frontage of the property. So I think, that was why he didn't feel it was a good idea to move the salt shed up there. He also said, we're currently using some old tractor trailers, units for storage, and some of them the floors are unsafe. So the thought was that we could buy some newer containers that are in better shape than we can use that for storage. All of the options are in that second portion, and then there's a map there's a couple maps in there that show areas of the trash. Yours are color coded. And it shows maps based on their information that they have received. One is the Gordon Jackson survey, and then one was a 2006 test pit exploration. So you can see the dotted lines that correspond with those. And then the other one is potential where we could locate expansion. We could move the salt shed, we could put up a recycled storage shed, leach field, well, office, those types of things. And again, that's based on where the current delineation of the buried trash is.
How they determine the groundwater management zone boundary?
That was done by a survey that they did.
15,
Yeah, anyway,
20 years.
probably 20 years ago.
'Cause that was part of the landfill closure.
Right. Yeah. One of the big concerns is it's not a sealed landfill. So DES, they don't have any plans to force the town to cap that landfill. There's no money. They had an account that they were providing grants to municipalities with. There isn't any money in that grant fund, in that grant account. There hasn't been for many years, and they don't anticipate any money from the state or feds going into that account anytime soon. So they don't feel that they're going to force the town to cap the landfill anytime in the near future.
Is there any leakage?
No, well, our test wells and groundwater monitoring have said that there is PFAS and PFOS, and so we have to monitor more often. But at this point, there's no remediation for that. So unless, and if you read into the whole report, it talks about that, and unless those numbers go up in those test wells, then we wouldn't be forced to do either more testing or any kind of remediation.
What would happen if we did all this building and had these places where we could drive up, and then the water tests come back bad? Then we're really in a mess, aren't we?
So the only thing that they're finding in the test wells that is of concern at this point is the PFAS and the PFOS. There are some other things that they're finding in there, iron and manganese. But anywhere in this town, you're going to find iron and manganese in the water. So I don't know. Again, according to the DES and our engineer, they didn't raise any huge concerns over any potential expansion as long as it's not on the landfill area.
And that would have to be any area where we would consider building anything, even if we don't think there's any landfill there, they would test first. Right?
They would do test pits before we did any building. Yes.
Because they are kind of
Yeah, oh, yeah. The other thing,
stories about trash being in places, but who knows what that actually is.
the other thing that any civil engineering for a construction project would include managing your additional stormwater runoff. So if we increase the impervious surface coverage, we would have to capture that, whether gutter the buildings, curb and gutter the site, and direct it to a stormwater pond / retention, so something to catch that water. So you could actually argue that adding more buildings to the site may actually improve, because it would remove water that's currently perking down through the buried track.
And currently, we have a stormwater, they did a stormwater project up there a few years ago.
Yeah.
And it channels all the water into the burn pit right now, so.
And this doesn't really look like it's adding more impervious surface anyway, a couple of buildings, but I'm assuming there.
Yeah, you could, and you could pave some of what's currently gravel, but that concurs, I think, with some of the less formal engineering reviews that were done a number of years ago,
Yes.
but what could and could not happen. So I guess that's good. Can you clarify the present worth, $2.2 million to do a cost?
So that's based on a 10-year cycle.
Okay.
He based this on a 10-year cycle.
Did they give us a cost estimate of what it would cost to simply do it up front?
Yeah, if you go into the
Can you send me to that ridiculous
options,
Yeah, that one.
then you're gonna have to go. Well, actually,
You even younger, but
Is it,
Ron's not long enough.
Bob, if you go to table 1,
yeah,
it gives the capital costs.
first year capital cost.
So to replace a compactor truck is $418,000. And then estimate for recycling center, operation costs is $125,000, and then the solid waste is $108,000.
So $288,000 to do the compact.
Right, 288,500.
And that includes a healthy contingency.
Right, yeah, that's a 30% contingency.
And that also includes an on-site septic as well, which
Right.
would be an option.
Yep. Yeah, so the way you would read this, really the easiest way is to look at the options and go to the table 1 and see what the actual costs are.
Yeah, and I think you could probably treat it somewhat as an a la carte menu, right? So there's a compactor, which is $31,000, power unit, tank heater, hopper. I mean, that would that would be the compactor itself.
Right.
And then the rest of the a la carte menu would be it looks like another baler, and then a canopy, and it's a good breakdown.
Mm-hmm. Although the one thing I don't see is a haul trip of some kind, because we have to get it from,
We discussed that, and I can't remember what you said about it.
Subcontract hauling.
Did it? Okay.
I
I think you included it in there somewhere. I'd have to go look at that.
Subcontract.
I apologize, I just got this the other day, so I didn't.
Yeah, so the top part is capital, below is operating, and so he's got pickup and transportation costs.
okay.
Are you still looking at option 2? Which one are you looking at, Bob?
I'm looking at page 3 of 7.
It says right at top what it is.
Yes, cost option 2.
Okay. Yeah, it seems very complete, which is good.
Yeah, he actually, for phase 1, he does include subcontractor hauling. And he has 52 trips at $700 each. It's $36,400.
Okay.
That's something that eventually the town could get a truck that could haul and we could haul our own.
That would be the thought.
Yeah.
Try to do investments in your CDs, you know?
Right. Let it roll for a few years and we'll buy John a very nice roll-off truck. No, he says I don't buy this.
And no need for three-phase.
No need for three-phase.
That's huge.
And that definitely expands the number of different options going forward.
Wasn't there a former solid waste committee?
Yes.
And wasn't there a report done by Mr. Plisco? Did you guys read that?
Yes.
Wondering if that had any effect on this study? No, I haven't. I read it pretty in depth. He's concerned about leakage.
We have community report.
I think
I don't mind the
Aries,
politics behind it,
yeah, I think Aries took that into consideration. Or it actually was a different consideration from the building. It's a different problem.
but let's see.
Would there be any longevity difference in three-phase to single-phase motors on these compactors? For instance, if you spend the money up front to put three-phase there, are we gonna be able to get a better, longer-lasting machine?
He contacted the manufacturers, or the manufacturer's representatives of the compactor, and they said you can use single phase on it. It would be a single phase with a variable speed drive to transfer it to make up for the three phase.
So this also
And
takes,
it wouldn't void any warranties or anything like that.
Yeah, just
They
curious.
didn't, I don't know if he asked about the longevity of the unit, the electric motor in it or not. He didn't ask.
but it doesn't void the warranty.
Does not void the warranty.
Okay, so that's good. And that also gets rid of the idling truck.
That would get rid of that.
Trend line. So I don't know if Aries did it, but we're looking at development in town, additional residences that would use, kind of because we're not out of transfer station capacity now. And it didn't seem like we're growing that quickly. The one large unit count at exit 18 would undoubtedly have commercial trash pickup. Well, more likely than not would have a commercial trash pickup rather than a transfer station, but even that is 35 households.
I think
Potential.
So,
this really is, we're at pretty much at the end of the lifespan of the Packer truck. So that is really one of the immediate factors that we should look at in determining where we go. Because if we just stick with another Packer, we can continue on the way we're doing. And we make 2 trips a week now, John? 2. If we had to bump that up to 3, it wouldn't be a problem. But and again, that all depends also on how long the trash energy plant is going to be in operation.
yeah, as long as the tipping option was 6 miles away, the Packer truck was by far the most cost-effective option we had. If
Yep.
the tipping option is suddenly Rochester,
Right.
then Plan B will need, because you
Yes.
can't drive that thing from Rochester.
Yep. So those are the 2 really mitigating factors in trying to determine what direction to take.
And time
Yes.
run fee.
How big are the bales? Like, if we get this 4-yard compactor, how often, I guess, how big of a truck, how many bales do you fit per truck? I mean, do you have to make 1 trip a week? Is it,
I don't know, what's the cubic yardage of the compactor, of the Packer truck we have now, John?
That's a 20
yard?
yard.
And I don't know I didn't see what he had for yardage for,
this is just
4-yard.
4-yard?
Yeah, but you don't take the compactor, the compactor is a 4-yard.
No, I know,
Yeah,
it makes it into
shoves
4-yard
it in.
bundles. I'm just curious, how many
Well, no,
bundles do
it
you
just-
fit on a
it-
trailer?
Well, it can go in a 30-yard.
yeah, I think it would be yeah.
It's a good question.
Because I mean, if you do the math, we can get it down to 1 trip on roll-off a week instead of 2 with the compactor.
Probably,
You know, if we play some creative.
yeah, because I don't know what I'd have to look and I'll talk to him and find out what those are.
Because even with the
Yeah.
30% contingencies, you're still at the same price to get a new truck.
That's what the body size is. We
Maybe
haul
back-
between 7 to 8
I'm
tons.
going to a webinar about getting a new truck, clean diesel grants.
I mean, it's just price point, you're right in the same ballpark as buying a new Packer truck to upgrade. It
Yeah.
allows you to grow potentially at the transfer station over time as well, as long as the site stays feasible. So that to me seems like a smarter investment or use of funds. It makes it more user-friendly for the townspeople. Maybe more people start using the dump as opposed to hiring third-party services.
If one half doesn't the other, right? Because if they hire third-party services, they're paying for it.
True, no, but I mean, if maybe you entice more people to recycle it, because you're not sitting in line for 25 minutes to throw your paper out.
No, it's a good point in terms of efficiency, for sure. And the other thing you have to do is, really have to explore Packer trucks, right? Because there's Packer trucks like we use, and there's Packer trucks that drive around cities and automatically lift the fancy cans, and those are $400,000 Packer trucks. Replacing that thing, the old-fashioned garbage truck, is probably not.
Yeah, I think you put 300,000 or something like that for. Yeah.
All right.
How do you think we should proceed? Do you think that the committee should come up with recommendations or work with the selectmen? What's the next step that you think we should be doing here? Do we need a study, or how does this go to the next level?
So I think we all need to read and understand what the options mean. You know, we all got this today, so this is gonna take a bit of study. But I think, yes, we need to sort of narrow down where we wanna go and then proceed while we have a working Packer truck. That's the danger.
Yeah, I think between now and December, this is the selectmen, we'll be working on it, and when we start coming up with potential warrant articles for 2026, we'll be meeting with you guys again the 1st of December and probably run something by you on one of these options, would be my guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I guess I'm perpetually surprised that you don't meet between now and then. We'll just see you again in
Well,
December.
we could. There's no reason not to.
What?
We can, and we can always meet on specific, right, if there's a specific proposal that you want help working through, I'm happy to come in and look at options on, specific scenarios for dealing with a broken Packer truck.
Right.
Because that's what we're doing, right? Okay, the Packer truck breaks, what are we gonna do?
Right.
Because right now, we're not in an urgent state where we don't have capacity, right? So we're not busting out the seams at the transfer station. We have, and if, you can always add an operating day for hours, because you have head operating hours.
Mhm.
So that's,
Yeah.
Another option that should be in the mix is just getting the trash from Canterbury to,
Concord.
Pennacook.
Yeah, two-wheeler graders.
The wheel grader is the key, and then, does anyone have a sense of where wheel grader stands?
I've been attending the co-op meetings, and we have a 7-year contract that we signed with them 4 years ago. So that was for the price. I haven't heard any rumblings at
They
all.
haven't mentioned anything.
Nothing came up at the co-op meetings about any potential closings or anything like that, so this time, I don't know.
And the rate order has been expired for a while now,
Mhm.
so they're selling their electricity at market.
Mhm.
essentially.
Yeah.
And the last time we went through this, the consideration was when there was a 30-year rate order that was put in place in 1989. And so when that expired, they were quote unquote gonna close because they couldn't sell the electricity at a premium. Well, clearly that changed.
They closed their facility in Lebanon a couple of years ago. But that facility was older than this one, and I'm not sure, I really never got a good handle on why they closed it.
Yeah, well, the other component is what do they have to do to upgrade for air pollution and other scrubbers and equipment requirements. They put multiple millions of dollars into this one not that long ago. So I suspect that they'll perform the same calculus that they did on Lebanon on this one. If that equipment hits the end of its life and they're faced with investing, multiple millions of dollars into it, then that's when we'll have to worry.
Well, so the Merrimack station's officially off the grid come Friday. So if you got a power source that produces, they might stay longer. So there's nothing else producing in the area.
Yeah.
You know?
But they didn't make a big deal about it at the meetings, right? It didn't even come up.
Didn't even come up.
Why don't we plan to get together, say, mid-November or the first couple of weeks of November, after some more study and people have a chance to think about this and look at options.
All right.
That sounds like a plan.
I mean, I'm not, the selectmen have to do it, but
No, I think
I'd be
that's a good idea, Bob.
Right.
And that'll give you the opportunity to assess this in light of other capital needs.
Right.
And things and issues that are occurring to decide, is this a 2026 project? Is this a 2026 idea? Is this a 2027 idea?
Right.
Is this gonna take, some time to be socialized amongst the voters? So that, you have to plan on, losing the vote a couple times before you actually do it.
Right.
Yep.
All right.
So, like November, a meeting separate from a Board of Selectmen's meeting, or either the 3rd or the 17th? Or our November meetings?
Whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, doesn't matter to me.
Or if it's easier for you, pick a non-selectman meeting.
That's not our
Have an
problem.
additional meeting. If it's easier for you not to do this in conjunction with a select board meeting, pick a different night. Let us know.
All right. Not the 12th.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with a non-select board night.
Like a working,
What's
a work session,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, the second weeks of the month seem to be.
All right.
Shall we work it, shall we,
Check calendars. and-
Yeah.
Yeah,
can we get a little closer,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay,
All right, so I'm gonna write budget.
yeah. Actually, I would suggest we check calendars quickly and get data on the books, so that everybody can.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
November 5th it is.
Work session.
I'm not in town, but heading on the 8th.
I have a question. It's non-trash related,
Sure.
not power related. So in the highlights, it indicated that we're taking a 400,000 bond for the balance of the fire truck.
Yes.
Is that because we didn't receive the funding we'd originally applied for?
No, we did not, we had applied for a grant 3 times or 4 times for a fire truck, and we didn't get it. So the town, 2 years ago, there's a warrant article to buy it, even if we didn't get the grant. So the truck was a 2.5-year delivery. We had to put a down payment on it. We had money in the cap reserve account. We used that to put the down payment on it, which was about half of what the cost was. And we have not taken the bond on it because there was no sense in paying interest on the bond until we have a vehicle.
Gotcha.
So the delivery date is June, so we're gonna take, the bond sale is every 6 months, in January and in July, so we'll do the January bond sale.
All right, so we applied multiple times for a grant and didn't get it.
Right.
And then you had mentioned that Pennacook Rescue is a nonprofit and you're trying to find grants to help them.
Yep.
And Beth, you mentioned going to a webinar about clean diesel grants.
Correct.
So who writes our grants?
Well, the fire department hired a grant writer.
Okay.
It was $1,500 per year, and actually, we got the grant for the breathing apparatus?
The breathing apparatus, the compressor,
Radio.
radios.
The grant writer has paid for himself.
Yeah, the grant writer more than paid for himself in
Have
several
we considered
areas.
earmarking funds like for multiple areas? It's like more.
Right, so the other, depending on, well, I guess if we're looking at other grants, it would depend on where, if it's a fire related, we can go to the guy that we used for the fire department. If it's not, then we would have to either find somebody, or as in years past, I have done it with the help of others.
Nice.
So if you know of any grant writers that are,
I know a few in town, like they're gonna be really mad at me because if I keep bringing them up. But one of the things they have is they have access to software that allows you to put in multiple different aspects of what you're looking for to find like creative ways and grants that you can apply for. So we just need a grant friend to start.
that, I will say that has been, and I think Kelly has brought it up in the past, one of the things about grants is trying to find the grants that you might be eligible for. So that, and again, I appreciate any help that anybody has.
Well, and that's like what Pinnacle Rescue is doing, the person over in Boscawen,
Yeah.
who's working so hard to find any dollars that they can to throw into their coffers.
And the county has, Merrimack County has a person on staff that can write the grants, that has experience doing it. But again, they are saying, okay, well, you bring me the grants and I'll help with the writing. So it's one of the select people in Boscawen is doing a lot of research on trying to find grants to help out and stuff.
Reach out.
Probably thinking of the same grant writing people that we're all thinking of.
We are, but like I said, maybe at least like
Well, you have my email.
we have access, like if we can get our own version of whatever software they use and maybe just like a punch list of best practices on how to find them.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Before we wrap, I had a couple of other sort of budget
Sure.
picture questions. Reval status and equalization ratio.
So, Mandy is planning on doing the revow in 2026. I did trying to think what the ratio is right now, Bob. It has, we're in desperate need. Desperate need.
We were at about 73% market.
Yeah, this doesn't have it, but yeah, we're in desperate need of a revow. Our ratio is off kilter because of all the increase of housing. So she was thinking about doing it this year, but it's been like less than 5 years. So she said, well, we'll wait to do it at the 5-year mark. So.
And have we heard anything from Shaker Region?
Oh, what?
Their anticipated tax
About the big
raise.
question.
Their budget committee, or their budget process starts this coming year.
That's for next year. I'm talking about for tax rate setting for 2025. Because you guys would set the tax rate next month. And
They signed the MS1 tonight.
okay.
So.
Okay, so I guess my question was, is Shaker Regional, is the school tax raise what we anticipated? Or is it?
There have been no surprises to the best of my knowledge.
They're good at letting us know usually. If they haven't let you know, good. Yeah, no, I know, I figured the Shaker Regional process will start.
I think it's next Tuesday in Belmont, is the first one. Maybe it's tonight.
No, it's
Tomorrow.
tomorrow night,
Today's Monday, it's tomorrow.
because you said this week.
Yeah. My brains, it's around. It's tomorrow they start.
But I didn't see any of the usual communications with regard to, do you want to be on their budget committee?
They sent it out,
It went out
but
last.
fairly recently, I think. You might still have to.
You sat in on that
There's
last.
still time to apply, Bob.
I figured I was going to get I figured I would be doing.
I signed up for it too, Bob. We can go together.
Awesome. Should I reach out to,
Debbie Thompson.
yeah.
And what are you doing tomorrow night?
Going to Belmont. It was 6 o'clock.
So Bob, you have till September 17th, and then they're gonna select it at their 23rd.
Okay. I didn't see an email from Debbie.
It came out in the school district emails where I saw it. The kids get sent home.
I read it somewhere too.
Sorry, on
It's
Facebook.
on newsletter?
First
Email?
page.
On email?
Yeah, I saw it somewhere.
Somewhere.
Bob, you
Might have
gotta,
been
you
Tom's
gotta
email.
plug in.
Oh, yeah.
Only we had a bulletin board. Or a sign, maybe.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Thank you all.
And good to get, we'll meet again in November. That'll be good.
Yeah, I can chat.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
You decide the date in November.
I'm gonna send out an email, Bob, and,
I will keep sending it.
with some dates and ask for anybody that can make it.
Okay, sure.
Thank you,
All right.
Oh,
Great job.
thank you. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
okay.
Feel free to have one of your drinks now.
Yeah.
Where's the Manhattan?
Didn't even need 7 for that one.
It is.
I thought you'd toast us right at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
Ready?
You're muted. Can't hear you.
Ken, I was thinking of you this morning. Well, we went east from 7,
Oh,
going across the river, where the railroad track is. That's where Ken used to. Him been snowmobiling.
well, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, yeah,
It was a long haul.
it is.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a fun rest of
Oh,
the
yeah.
Don't forget that.
I'm sorry, put me to sleep.
Thanks, Kelly.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Sir?
All right. It looks like, Ken, I think we're,
Down to the lagoon purchase.
or the CCPs. Yeah.
Okay, well, we do that.
CPCNH.
The adder funds.
Yeah. Wasn't there something?
In the old business, there's a piece of paper
Yeah.
that shows the phrasing of the motion we need to make.
Okay. Right. Any discussion on that?
What, I've lost track of.
So this is the adder fund
Oh, all right.
transfer from CPCNH to the town. Edgar has given us suggested wording for a motion,
Can I pause for a moment
of course.
and ask Edgar a question? As a
Yes.
member of CCPC and our representative, you finally then found Andrew and had a meeting.
Actually working with Jack and someone named Jackson for the trapper.
Okay, great, but you got all the information you needed about how much and, well, we've got a motion before, so.
Yes, this is the final part before they can issue out a check. Kyle has said that check was be the easier form of transferring the funds,
Okay,
and they just need the minutes to be able to issue out the check.
okay.
Yep.
What are these funds? Are these funds restricted or limited, or can you only use it for energy? Can we only pay
Energy
it?
projects.
Could you pay
Right.
it back to the ratepayer? I mean, is
No. There was in the last town meeting, there was a account especially set up for it, and that's one of the requirements in order to withdraw it, that there need to be a special account that they would go to.
Reestablish a capital reserve account.
And it is
Yeah.
fairly specific.
It's
that's
spelled
why
out.
Yes.
what the specifications of what they can and can't.
And we'll read it to you
So,
right now.
the language for the warrant article was, for the purpose of purchasing renewable energy systems and to raise the appropriate sum to place in the fund, $1,000. So it is for the purpose of purchasing renewable energy systems.
Only for the town?
Town.
Town.
Right.
Okay. I just didn't know if it was, and this is just me being naive, is it like, we buy a solar field that helps the ratepayer, or is it for the solar at the town, or if you wanna put solar at the dump, or?
Oh, I would think it could,
Or is it just, as long as it's green energy, it doesn't matter, is what I guess I'm getting at.
Energy systems, I think is a.
I don't think they
big
mean
line.
town municipal.
I was just curious,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's the rate they're paying it, so.
In both of those scenarios, I think they would both qualify.
Okay. I just wanted, in my head, I had.
Either expand the,
Google it.
either expand the panel system that we have up there, put new ones on another building, or if we've got enough money to purchase a piece of land, or there's a piece of town land, then put a bunch of solar panels on it and try and make some money that way.
Because I guess that's what, in my head, I was confused, like, I remember when Beth came a couple months ago, they were talking about how some of these towns use it for townwide solar that pays back to the grid, and I just wasn't sure how it had to be implemented.
Okay,
Good?
Yes.
Okay, all right,
Thank you,
so
Edgar.
I'm gonna make a motion that we direct CPCNH to transfer $5,200 from the Canterbury Community Power Discretionary Reserves to the town of Canterbury.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Cal, do you want, I don't know if you got a copy of this?
I have.
Or you do have a copy?
My only further question would be, and we can do this at our meeting
I can
as
recite
well,
Thank you.
is that, how did they finally end up figuring out about people who hadn't paid their bills and who might pay their bills and?
Yeah, we requested a set amount, not the entirety of the account, because remember, we gotta leave money in there for defaults. So it was like 200 something, and that was like 2 or 3 months ago. But now it's a little bit more, enough to, if someone defaults, that they can be covered. So this is a reasonable
Okay,
amount to be able to withdraw.
great, thank you.
Thanks, Edgar, for all your lead work on this. All right, it's a little difficult to make out in my copy, but I see something here about purchase.
Yep.
Oh, there we go, Magoo, okay. That's the word I can't
If you
make
can
out.
read through my scribbles that are on top of mine.
It's the proposal for Brian Magoon to purchase the property over on 106.
Yeah.
As you know, there was some title issues there. He has been in contact with legal representation. They have given him an estimate of approximately between $4,000 and $5,000 to quiet the title. His offer was $120,000. You guys had agreed to potentially lower the price depending on what the legal cost was. So I have an addendum here for the purchase to be $115,000 for the purchase of the property, the rest $120,000.
Yeah.
So if you would like to make a motion to accept $115,000 for that property, then we can do that.
Does that keep it on track to close for the end of September?
The work, I spoke with the realtor today, and the majority of the work is done. They are, if we do this, the transfer takes place. Brian already has the funding. The transfer takes place in the next week or two. It would be tight. We might have to sign an extension on the extension that you already sent. So.
Can we do that at the same time, just in case, add a 30-day extension?
Well, I don't have, she didn't give me one. She only gave me one, gave me that.
Okay.
And is it all set so that at that time, Brian will own the land and any future dealings about
So,
the title?
once the transfer takes place, Brian owns the property, and then he can quiet the title. He can't quiet the title until he owns the property. If we wanted to quiet the title, we could because we're the owners. And that was the discussion I had with the realtor.
Yeah.
She said, well, why don't you guys do it, the work's all done, and then just take the cost of it off. And I said, I think it would be cleaner if we just went through with the sale for $115,000, and then Brian takes care of it from there.
That seems to make, yeah.
All right, so I'll put this in the form of a motion that we accept $115,000 for the property located at Route 106, map 226, lot 2, in Canterbury.
And could you sign that?
Yes.
Since that's a motion, I will second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Seller Ken, where it says
Yes.
yes.
Just as long as that means you don't get $110,000.
The bank account right
Just
here.
check.
Today is the 8th.
So that if this wouldn't happen by our next meeting, we could potentially have an extension in mind.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, there's that.
All right, that's good.
Keep that moving. All right, and it looks like our last item is custodian vacancy.
Yes, Beth and I interviewed 2 of the candidates, and we decided on one, and we wanted to move forward with it. So, let's see. Jennifer Chase was the candidate that both Beth and I agreed would be the best candidate, so I will, with your blessing, I will notify her tomorrow.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are in agreement that she's the right person, then
Yeah.
by all means.
All right.
All right? All right, very good.
That is all I have.
Anybody else?
I feel there's always something that as soon as we adjourn, but it's kind of like hanging up the phone.
Yes,
I'll
it
hang up
is.
the phone, and go, no. Other than thank you for everybody who's zooming in. No, I don't think so.
Everybody at the moment? Actually, yeah, I got a question.
Sure.
When they changed the veteran tax credit this year, Mandy told us probably a month or so ago, right? Maybe a little over a month. There was a bill that went through and changed tax credit, so disabled veterans, and I could be screwing this up, so don't quote me totally, can no longer get the $500 overseas credit as well. So what they did was they took, from my understanding, they took the disabled credit and put a ceiling of $5,000. So with that coming up, do we potentially need to think of a warrant article coming through the pipeline that would allow the handful of people that get that credit to keep that number essentially? If that makes sense, because a lot of these people go from $1,900 credit, it'll drop down to $1,400. Do we want to put through a warrant article that we could round it to 2,000? I mean, it's going to affect a fair amount of people. And you can't write a warrant article overnight, but this is something to think about, I guess, going into it. And with budget season coming up, is that something that we could call around towns and see how they're circumventing, how they approach it, what are they doing to kind of stay in the status quo?
Good. So I think certainly, yes, we can see what other towns are doing, but I would also think it's probably an appropriate budget committee discussion to have.
It just came to me last minute.
Yeah, and I know the budget committee will ask how many people are affected in town.
17.
There you go. So that it really is good to have hard numbers.
Yeah.
So 17 times $500, then we know, yeah.
And if we decided to move forward with that, is that something that we want to round? Because I think if I read the law that came through, or the bill that came through, and essentially it allows towns the jurisdiction to go up to $5,000.
Gotcha.
Now, granted, small towns can't absorb 17 people at $5,000,
Right.
but is that something that we think about what rate we put on it? Or do we just keep it status quo at $1,900? That's just something that if we,
I think that we should all give it some thought, and I would say our next, not
Get on the
probably,
to-do list of.
yeah, the November budget committee, the special meeting, I see as just solid waste. I think that's such a big topic that we should concentrate on that for that meeting, and then save the veterans and other discussions as well.
for December.
Yeah, for that December meeting. Certainly my suggestion is, have language ready,
Yes.
have the numbers ready, and then we can just include it in the discussion.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, because that should give other towns who think they'd be cognizant of it at this point.
I certainly think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I have.
Cool.
No, I do have 2 things.
Sure.
Actually, did we discuss this and why do we have this?
That was something that I ran out of printer ink, so I think people got
The
some
vehicle review.
very faint copies of it.
So,
Actually, mine's in.
Mine's lovely.
Yours is printed by Ken.
Oh,
early
okay,
today.
okay.
Thank
We just
you.
want the ink on those.
so, we do not discuss it, and basically it's an updated
Okay.
version of the vehicle.
Yeah,
And there are a couple of ones in there that, one was the Packer truck.
Yeah.
And the other was the pickup truck.
Yeah.
They were highlighted, because the Packer truck is, I'm sorry, the water.
Yeah.
the water.
Water truck. Water truck's out of service and the pickup truck probably is not repairable.
That's the F-150.
Yes, yeah. So those two, and then the condition of some others has dropped from either good to fair or
That's
poor, very poor. Because the water truck is out of service, John would like to get replace that somehow. He would rather not buy another vehicle. You can find water trucks.
Yeah.
But he'd rather not have another vehicle. He'd rather have a slide-in water tank.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And
Yeah.
we're trying to find a manufacturer and get some good solid prices on those.
Yeah.
So that would be for the December meeting for a warrant article to purchase a sliding
next
water
year.
truck.
Okay.
And potentially a pickup truck.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that's what we're looking at, warrant articles for the highway department, the police department. The chief would like to replace one of the cruisers. There's one that he'd like to get rid of, it's high mileage, but he'd like to replace it. And so he's potentially looking at that. But
And we'll have those numbers in December.
yeah, I think he gave me a price of $46,000.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
$47,000.
And that's all outfitted,
That's
that's
a
right.
fully outfitted vehicle, yes.
Not electric.
That's a hybrid.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's 40, actually, it's the full value, the full cost would be $67,000. It's $44,000 for the vehicle. The signage is $1,300. The ceramic coat is $2,000, and then all the equipment, the lights and the radios and all that is another $20,000. So it's
How many hybrids do we currently have on the force?
Pardon me?
How many hybrids? Some of the
We
cruisers
have
are.
2 right now.
2.
No, I'm sorry, we have 3.
Three, okay.
Yeah, we have 3.
Okay.
And then there's another one that he'd like to get rid of, so.
Just out of curiosity, so Energy is a hybrid car, something that the 5,000 adder funds could go towards since it's energy efficiency?
No,
I know, that's
doable.
To me, that's a stretch.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that would pass.
But, okay,
Are new hybrids plug-inable? I know
I
nothing
believe
about.
some are.
Some are.
No, well, the current ones we have do not plug in.
I meant this one, is this a plug-inable?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's not fully electric, it's a hybrid where it has a gasoline motor
yeah,
and it only operates at certain speeds or whatever, and then the electric kicks in.
But they do make now hybrids that are plug-in.
plug-in hybrids, yeah.
So I was just curious, I didn't know if like the new trend is plug-inable, I don't know anything about.
I don't know. Yeah.
We'll find out when they know. But I'm sure they
Well,
offer.
And if we had to add a charger to the
He
police
did look
station
at
as well.
different,
Oh, yeah.
because the ones we have now are Fords, and he looked at Chevys and Dodges, but neither one of them make a hybrid police package.
Interesting. Okay. Alrighty, thank you. So this would be a vehicle, what would you call this, not a survey, yeah.
That's the vehicle.
Inventory, that's the
right.
word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The only other question I had is, after our all-board meeting the other night, I was thinking, is it worthwhile to at least think about doing an all-board meeting where, you know, how on the second meeting of the month now, we're reporting about our committees to ourselves, but is it helpful to, however, every quarter, have all the chairmans come together and just yak? So what are we doing on our committee? What are we doing? I mean, we're reporting to ourselves, but that doesn't mean that the other committees are listening in. Is that a helpful thing to do?
I guess that if the chairs, I think we talked about that right at the end, and I think
Yeah.
what I said was I'm reluctant to schedule another mandatory meeting. You know, if people will show up and contribute to the meeting, it could have real value. But if not, then
I think I mentioned that it might be appropriate for the chairs to read the minutes of the Board of Selectmen's meetings
Yeah.
to find out what the other committees are doing.
yeah,
And they didn't actually seem particularly keen on that.
right.
But I don't know if it's
You can lead a
easier.
horse to water.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if it's easier just as, I mean, the one comment I heard after that was, volunteering is much fun when it's all, the rules and the regs and you have to, okay, that's true, and that's just the way it is. But is there a way that it can also be more of a social thing? Get the people together, make it more, all right, so what do you talk, oh, that's interesting, I didn't know the Conservation Commission was doing that, making it more sitting and yakking about what we're doing, not sitting alone reading the minutes. And yeah, it's one more meeting, but, is it worth it to poll the chairs in a while? Maybe just get through budget season and say, what do you think? Is sitting and yakking something that would be helpful?
Yeah, well, I think that, I see it as at least that is probably the first question, but also the second question is, would you attend?
Yes.
Well, I think the land use boards should have a meeting at least twice a year, because if you're proposing zoning ordinance changes, don't you think the planning board and zoning board should somewhat be on the same page as how to implement them or what the intention of the changes? Because I know on the ZBA there was changes, the planning board made the zoning that we didn't interpret the way they intended them to be. So I think in terms of certain boards getting together, it'd be very advantageous.
Yeah.
Whether they want to make time or not, I think coming into warrant article season, it would be a good, ZBA, planning board, maybe HDC, at least get the chairs together or as many members who can make it and try to go over what's coming down the pipeline before it goes to the pipeline.
Yeah.
That would be advantageous. I don't know if we can really make everybody come. That's the tricky part.
Well,
That is-
and in the past, we had a couple of all board meetings, but they were for the land use board meetings for that purpose. What are you working on? How is it going to affect us as a different board? Is this something we expect to see in the future? Is it controversial, whatever? And we've had those, but we did it in the summer. Well, I guess it was late August, early September when we did it the last time.
Yeah.
So maybe something to just consider, and maybe the land use boards are the most critical, because those are the ones that really kind of affect each other the most. But if they're meeting and you leave it open to the rest of the board's chairs to show up, but maybe you're right, maybe we need to make a stronger push to have those two boards at least have a time where they're in the same room at the same time. And what are you doing? And I don't know what the schedule is, if there's a schedule of, like now we've got budget season starts in September and then in December we do this and then blah, blah, blah. Is there a schedule, a flow to land use proceedings?
So there's a calendar that shows exactly when any zoning changes have to be
Oh, all right.
done. So it would probably be appropriate to have it before that deadline.
Like 2 months before,
Yeah,
or a month, well, at least two.
Well, warrant
because-
articles are in end of January.
yes, but zoning is earlier.
Right.
I'll send that calendar out to you. It's an NHMA calendar. It's
Oh,
on the
yeah,
website.
thank you.
The problem in the past has been that, I hate to point fingers, but the planning board has come right down to the deadline of when they have to propose a zoning change. So, to get the language done. So that, and they're busy, so they start looking at things, and I know they're talking about it now, is what are they gonna do for, they're gonna have some listening sessions in October, and so now we start the crunch.
Right.
Maybe get the ZBA to come to one of their scheduled work meetings Or what are they not?
There is a procedure or process for the planning board and the zoning board to meet together on a particular subject, whether it's an applicant or anything else. There is
Whose
a,
procedure?
pardon me?
Whose procedure? Like an a state procedure
It's a
or?
state, it's a
Oh, okay.
state procedure, yeah. It's a recognized procedure for zoning boards and planning boards to meet together.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That might be good to look at. I mean, it just seems like sometimes they're missing each other, important cues. And if we can help that by saying, we think it's important for you to meet,
Yeah,
even if they're not thinking it is.
Yeah.
From the bigger picture, perhaps it is.
Yeah.
Something that we can,
I guess my point is that if we're gonna have another meeting, cool. But
Yeah.
I just wanna make sure it has value.
yes, indeed.
We're actually accomplishing something.
So if it works with their calendar, maybe that's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
It helps
I
them.
mean, do you know, is there any big changes that the planning board's coming down with, or is it just minor?
I don't know for sure at this point. I mean, the planning board is, as you guys both know from attending the recent planning board meetings, it's all the exiting team.
Yeah.
It's taking up, the bandwidth, if you will. So,
But the whole discussion of cluster developments going forward might need to be talked about a lot more.
Yeah.
Once we get through that, the current one, and say, okay, how can we make this work more efficiently in the future? So.
They are planning on the listening sessions with
Yeah.
Central Hampshire Planning, and I thought the subject of those was the current table of uses
Yeah.
and cluster.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, then there's a,
And that's this month,
When
right?
are-
I think it was three, yeah.
When are those planned for? Is that on our
I
calendar
think
already?
It's the 23rd, it's the second meeting at 5 or 5:30 is the listening
Yeah.
session.
right.
And then the continuation of exit 18 at 7 right after.
That's
And
right.
then the second meeting in October is the other listening session. I just don't remember which topic they're hearing those nights.
Right. All right. I'll check my calendar.
Yeah,
I know they had discussed it at the last meeting. I
Yeah.
don't remember what they finally came down on.
right.
Okay, that's it for me.
All right. I have nothing either. So, Calvin, the signs in the center, got ready to talk about anything or not?
So Kevin and I discussed it at the HDC,
Okay.
and informally, we thought there was a location that could fit, but we have to come up with a proposal.
Okay.
So
Oh, I
It's
need to
just
send you
determining-
pictures.
who is it proposing? Can I propose it? Does it need to be somebody else who proposes it?
Right.
And then what the intent of the sign would be in sort of, not limitations, but who would be responsible for it?
Yeah.
And I think through our,
That's totally a big part of it, because somebody's got to be responsible for gathering the information, updating it, changing it, making sure it's current.
exactly, through our initial conversations, we felt that if it was going to be a public information sign, it would be used for the town, by the town. So it wouldn't necessarily reflect school board meeting tonight, it would be Board of Selectmen meeting, the town stuff, the school has their own sign. So it was just determining what, sort of what entities could use it or utilize it.
Yeah.
And sort of controlling the amount of information, the amount of the sign, what's
Right.
important, what's not, and we kind of let the
Who's
conversation.
floating this? I mean, Edgar, I know that this is near and dear to your heart, but how did this get on your plate?
I had 4 or 5 people come up and ask me why we don't have one, or why don't we have one, because I don't go to this, I don't use that, I don't, we drive by it every day, I
and
see
the-
it, and I would go, you know how it is.
Okay, and these 4 or 5 people would reliably come through where that one sign is?
Yes,
Okay,
the
so,
location that we favored, or thought would be a good fit in terms of not altering the view of the center. Everybody sees it anytime you drive down the middle of the road. Any car that drives east to west is gonna see that sign. So in terms of exposure and accessibility, it's right there. I don't think it would be in the way where it would get plowed snow on it. Like, we were trying to think.
did you
for-
just say where it is?
No.
Or
Do you want me to tell you where it would be?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Elkins Memorial Building sign,
Yes.
taking that, combining it, putting an information sign below it, putting still having the Elkins banner above it, putting it right there, so anybody who comes up and down can see it and view it. Well, the other people had expressed, they don't want to near the cemetery, they don't want them in the town green. That was sort of the compromise where it's not gonna alter your view looking down the hill and seeing the mountain and the cemetery, it's not gonna be an eyesore. We think we can blend it in with the Elkins building stylistically. It doesn't have to be lit, but it'll still be lit from the street light at night. We're just trying to think of limiting factors that we're not gonna make an eyesore or something that's like, why the heck is this here, you know?
Talk about walking a tightrope.
It is, and that's the tricky part. And whether it comes to fruition or not, you know, I think going through the process and at least looking at it is beneficial, but the big limiting factors are what do you want for size and how many lines do you want on it? If you have a 6x4, most of those are eight lines. Do you have enough information? Is there too much information, not enough information? So that's kind of the design factors or what you have to think about. What are we trying to put on this? Is this only bullet points? Can you use it for the Friends of the Center? Are you gonna promote the Christmas tree lighting? Like what things go on there is gonna determine the size and style of what we would promote through, so.
And who that person is who's deciding what goes on it.
Exactly. Is
And
it the select
actually-
board? Is it Ken?
And
Is it-
actually physically changing the sign.
Yeah, I mean, that's not too bad.
It's not too
It's not
bad,
12 feet up with a pole.
It's not too bad, but it's one more thing for somebody
Exactly.
to get a person to do.
Exactly.
So,
But
yeah, okay.
with it being at that, you know, we took all those into considerations, and like I said, I'm not speaking for Kevin, we just had a casual conversation about it, but there does seem to be potential for it.
Yeah. All right. The only other thing I'll ask both of you to do is in the time until our next meeting, as you go about your day, keep an eye on the number of signs that are on the cemetery.
Yes.
It seems to me as though there's been a lot of signs that I know nothing about popping up. And I believe the select board is supposed to give permission for any sign to be posted there, so.
Well, that's where we were going to look at that. And we can put that on the agenda for next time?
That's what I'm.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I'll send you, my notes send you the sign policy.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And it's pretty specific.
Yeah.
And is violated quite often.
Yeah.
Do we have a folder of approved signs?
Yes.
We do, okay.
Yeah. And there are many in the folder.
Maybe 3,
Yeah, that's kind of my
maybe.
So.
Yeah.
But that's a discussion for another night. That's it. All right. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.